Hi guys, I decided to record this short podcast for you too. You can see that there is a really strong concentration of planets in three signs. That is Aries, Taurus, and Pisces. Now, Pisces and Taurus, they kind of understand each other more than Aries because they have a sextile between planets which are here in the middle of the sign. And we can see that in Pisces there is Mars with Saturn, and Mars is our energy, our will, our vitality. And when it's with Saturn, it becomes more restricted. First of all, they are both in the signs we are not comfortable in. And Pisces is a spiritual sign, something out of the world, something beyond material. And Saturn and Mars are very materialistic planets, if I can put it this way. So Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So Capricorn is a natural sign for them both, and Saturn rules Capricorn. So when they are together in Pisces, it creates a lot of confusion, but also sort of like waves hitting stones, the ground, when you want to ride the wave, so to speak, but something tells you, whether it's a structure of the world or your inner conflict, it tells you, no, you are not ready to sail yet because you haven't built a good enough boat yet. So that's how I personally see that conjunction here, and they are also in sextile to Uranus and Jupiter, and that's one of the biggest events of the year, and their conjunction will happen around 18th, 20th especially, will be important days of April. I already posted about this earlier, and watch out what is going to happen during these days. And I think this will sort of be maybe for some of you a kind of breakthrough from the energy of the beginning of the month, when that conjunction of Mars to Saturn was applying, and it might have brought some kind of frustration to at least some people, especially if you have planets in the middle of the sign of mutable signs, that is Pisces, Gemini, Virgo, and Sagittarius. If you don't know your birth chart, you can go and check my video on YouTube, how to build your birth chart, and you can create your chart. You can also feel free to message in the comment or send me a personal message and I can help you build a chart. I do this a lot for friends and for some clients, so that's not difficult, but whenever time allows. Now, if we go back to the Sun and Moon position, I started specifically from other signs because I think this is very crucial for this eclipse. So eclipse, solar eclipse is a new moon eclipse. So basically, Sun here is in a sign based on, it's very close to exaltation degree. According to different theories, exaltation degree of Sun is either 18 or 19 degrees of Aries, which is kind of amazing. It's a very, very strong place for Sun to express its qualities, and that is creative potential, leadership, some kind of drive, which if you feel like you have a calling in life, that Sun can express itself through that as well. And also it's a lot about entrepreneurship as well, because we have here, interestingly, how many, like 4 personal planets, so basically everyone can be affected, especially also in this case if you have planets in areas around those degrees of the signs of the planets in Aries, or in Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. Those signs will be mostly affected. That's the general rule, as I mentioned earlier in some posts and also in my video about eclipses. I'm not sure if you watched it. Go ahead to my channel, and there's a video about how to use eclipses to predict some events, and I look at elections there, but you can apply some principles to your chart as well. And so here, if you have, say, for example, one of the personal planets, Sun, Moon, Venus, or Mercury, or Mars in Aries, for example, interestingly, eclipse happens on my Venus. I have Venus on 4 degrees of Aries, and exactly that I have Venus return in a way, so which can theoretically bring some kind of collaboration. I haven't had any. In a way, I kind of was going through something difficult related to a relationship with a friend, but that's another story. And it's interestingly how you can see those influences, how it echoes. For example, if you have some planets in Libra, that would create opposition with these planets. So I have North Node on the 26 degrees of Libra. So Mercury is opposing that North Node, and it's conjunct my South Node and Chiron too. So that's why in my case, like kind of there is mixed influence as well. And I'm also thinking of different collaborations for the future. So the theme of collaboration versus working solo, as I've been doing most of my life, and by my chart, for example, both money and happiness can come partly through collaborations. Like it's a big part for me, like, and that's why friends and my sister and some people like who I meet for work and studies have always been important to me. With the nodes, like especially what's important is that Sun and Moon are very close to the nodes, and as the closer nodes are to Sun and Moon, the more full is the eclipse. Like, for example, you can hear those, like, this is, what's the term? I forgot. Total eclipse, that's the word. So this is closer to the total eclipse because the nodes are very close to Sun and Moon. And I think in a way it's kind of like an exciting moment for humanity in general to some extent, because it just signifies that something new is going to appear, and something which might be very spontaneous. Aries is a sign which is the first sign, and it's kind of like not as mature as some other signs in certain things, but it's very daring. It doesn't like thinking too much. It likes to be just acting on impulse. It might be reactive. So the danger of this eclipse is that we might be reactive, right? So we might not be patient enough for certain things. We might want to certain results come earlier than they can be expected, or maybe we got tired of this, or Saturn and Mars and Pisces, which are kind of trying to find a way to swim there, and it's not really their element. Like in water, they cannot be very direct and concrete, and build. It's hard to build a city in an ocean, right? Like metaphorically speaking. I always think of metaphors, but what it is good for, I think, with all this combination, because Taurus is related to arts and dance and different creative and financial matters. Aries is good for expressing your potential, for being more proactive, for being more decisive, and or maybe even I don't want to call it insolent necessarily, but kind of less overthinking. Let's put it this way. So also more sparkly, like more charismatic in some way, with that huge stellium in Aries. It's some kind of karmic influences too could be here, and maybe people influence you, like they come into your life and they just like spark something, ignite in you, or they trigger something and then you have to work for that too. That could be the case as well. So another thing is that Pisces is also a sign related to creative endeavors, like to exploration through some out of the body, out of the world matters, psychic abilities. And Mars and Saturn and Pisces are about charity as well. Maybe it's time to support something, some kind of good cause. It's good for dancing, also for structuring your dancing in a way, because some other positions, they kind of slightly more chaotic, right? And so here we are trying to find our way to find something more like a shape, some kind of shape in the world of possibilities, right? And so you can think of, what do I want to focus on? Where do I want to put my energy in right now, with like in these month especially? And maybe Jupiter Uranus conjunction can give you some answers, some opportunity, like an aha moment, especially second and third week of April. So just connect to people. It's also a good networking position. I think it's a really interesting combination. Now, what I didn't mention here is that there's also Pluto, right? So Pluto is kind of like a little bit aside, but it's making a sextile to Venus, and it's telling, like, let's go big, like, let's just get out of the usual, and you have a right to become someone you want to be. And maybe it is now and not like tomorrow, not next year, when you have to start making steps to becoming some other person who you want to be. Some people call it best version of yourself. I'm honestly not fond of this term anymore. I like calling it the happiest and healthiest version of yourself. So basically, it's encouraging you to look forward, like not looking back too much. But like many planets are in the first two signs, and they want us to start a new cycle. They want us to say it's time to, to explore something new. So I hope, guys, you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments if you like me doing some kind of voice messages more often. But I just realized that for me now, in these weeks, and especially because I'm going away for a few months from Canada, I think it might be easier in the future to just do podcasting more often rather than video. So if you like this, let me know, and will be doing it more often. Stay well, enjoy the eclipse, enjoy April and something new in your life, and I hope to hear from you soon.